Welcome, Ava. It's good to see you.
You did? Mm-hmm. It was fine. Mm-hmm. No, I just got here. It's fine. Grandpa's good. I don't know. Okay, so what's Berlin like? Maybe. I don't really remember what a room looked like. Okay. Yeah, I will. Okay. Bye, Dad.
maybe 10 by 15 feet. Most houses in Sama are the same. A single room makes up the entire living space. The walls are made of stacked stones with no kind of bondage or mortar between them. They keep coals burning all day and all night in the home. The smoke fills the top half of the room, acting as insulation. But at night, the wind whipping down from the mountains runs across my ankles, causing hairs to stand up. It's quite remarkable, though, how quickly your body can adapt to a new environment. In Sama, my days have been so long. In the mornings, I go on walks with Tara and greet the other Tibetans living in Sama. She goes to the forest or the fields, as I go to the temple where I took over a small room in the back as my office.
Do you think you could listen to something for me?
Sure.
While I've been getting used to village life, I find myself getting close to an old woman that took me in. Tara. Tara enjoys watching my progress as I've adapted to Sama. She's a peaceful old woman, and I often hear her say that I remind her of her daughter, who moved away to Kathmandu years ago. She's extremely kind-hearted and hardworking. I find all Tibetans living here are, and somehow, they've never lost their sense of humor, despite not seeing their real home in years.
I haven't heard that voice in years. She sounded so happy there.
Whose voice is that?
That's Emily. That's your mother.
As winter approaches, I find my mind drifting back to my home in the Midwest. Nights here are nearly silent. The only sounds you hear is the harsh wind barreling through the valley, or the scurrying feet of Himalayan field mice against the cold stone floors. I miss summer nights in Wisconsin. I miss falling asleep with my window open, listening to the chirping cicadas as I drift off with my thoughts of far-off places. I wish the dim firelight brought me the same comfort as my pink porcelain lamp in my bedroom back home. I never knew how much I would miss the way the sun would wash over my walls in the afternoon, soon chased away by darkness. I remember how the room felt in the day and how different it felt once the sun was gone. I couldn't wait to turn that light on. The night sky here is beautiful. I find that the darkness is surprisingly comforting. It's easy to imagine my sleeping bag as my bed back home when the only light is the moonlight shining in through the cracks in the cold stone walls. Summer's coming to an end, it seems. That means monsoon season is beginning. It somewhat reminds me of my time on the Pacific coast in Oregon. The ocean was always so loud at night there. I remember trying to sleep and struggling to drown out the sound of the waves with my pillow clenched over my ears. George's bedroom faced the back of the seaside home, so the sounds of the tide carried freely into our room. In the spring, the walls would be moist in the mornings. The fog was so thick, it felt like it seeped into the house and filled the small bedroom. On particularly humid nights, I remember waking up caked in sweat and brine. I always hated visiting that place. The rain and the humidity was constricting. It's so beautiful here in Sama. The green valleys, the wildflowers, the cold stones and clean air. I love it here, I really do. But I want nothing more than to be drowned out by the sounds of the sea once more. Maybe the family life my father speaks of isn't so bad. With George, I think life could be nice. He's quiet and doesn't really...
thought you might enjoy this. They're from Nepal, when your mother was there for research. You know, I could have sworn that when your mother left here, she'd never want to come back. Even when she was a little kid, she used to describe these faraway places with such wonder. I must admit that had I known that someday she would go so far away where I could not go find her, that I would have done things differently. But maybe I'll find her soon.
How can you stand to live here, in this house, without her here?
I lost your mom 13 years ago, and your grandma 4 years after that. And I've got to confess, I have never been lonelier in my entire life. Sometimes I feel like I'm just waiting here to die. But we weren't meant to live like that. I know you don't have many memories of her, but your mother, my Emily, she loved you more than you could ever know.
The air I now breathe is so thin, it's as if I'm sharing each breath with the space around me. The land up here seems to grow smaller every day. The immense peaks in the distance are starting to feel a little less unreachable. Understood, almost. The spring wind that curls over the cliffs and whips down into the valley is starting to mull over into a gentle breeze that brushes the back of my neck. I'm beginning to recognize the beauty that Tara and the rest of the people of Sama talk so much about. To them, the mountains are gods. deities, guardians of the valley, and every action the people of Sama make are in respect of their guardians. I've begun to feel embarrassed for how I previously interpreted life in this valley. I never imagined a life of seemingly trivial tasks could feel so rewarding. As my fieldwork comes to a close, the creeping anxiety of saying my goodbyes start to come over me. I'll miss the quiet days, the yak bells ringing from the fields. I'll miss Tara and our neighbors. Today, as I was packing my bags, a Sherpa came running from Kutang to tell Tara that her sister was ill, that she must leave immediately to go see her. It's always the unceremonious goodbyes that hurt the most. I never got to thank her for her unquestionable hospitality, for her patience and support while I slowly adapted to village life. It's odd that the people who mean the most to us always seem to end up running away. I miss my parents. I miss George and our life together back home. I don't know if I'll ever return to this place. But the people of Sama will live on, with or without me.